considerations of zoning, because it presumes that we're basically consumers. We do work elsewhere. We don't interact with people around us. So the idea that we would actually try to share things and then benefit the neighbors around us, which is a lot of what we do, is kind of behavior that's never been considered. Like, why would you act like a villager? Because now you're in a system. But there are things about what we're doing that wouldn't be considered appropriate, such as all of us sitting here together talking, or the idea that people who live here would then, open up their space to share it. So that's considered strange. But it's not strange. People having resources and then sharing them. It's just how you get human capital going. Human capital. Within capitalism, we have to talk about the idea that maybe people like Paul Hawken or any number of like alternative economic theorists talking about how things actually work in the world, help point out to us that money is really not the biggest deal when it comes to making things happen. On the human level, at the village level, in order to articulate how it works, there's this term human capital or natural capital, the things that we share. At the village level, people start to care about each other so much, they know each other's story, that they stop needing money, they stop behaving in perfunctory ways. And it's more like you actually end up giving more than you take because of how much you identify with each other. So that's what we're trying to reinstill, and that's ultimately what we mean by planet repair. It's a simple shift. We think this is our progressive faith. I think this is the faith that underlies all of progressivism, and it can be naive at times, for sure, to think that everyone's on the same side. Some people are freaking crazy, and they're not on your side just because they're crazy, and you just kind of need to be able to discern a little bit more. But in the village context, we get to verify this faith that we have in each other, that we have been hardwired for thousands of years to not think we're separate, but to see that we are together. That's permaculture. We think that this is a consciousness project more than anything else. You want to plant a tree in order to have an edible landscape, but you use the tree in order to cultivate a stewardship mentality in the children that you're teaching as you're doing it. So the most important thing isn't really so much the tree as it is changing the mindset of the humans that are involved in planting the tree and pruning the tree and then harvesting the tree. Small actions. That's what permaculture is about, small actions that add up to big, big change. Okay. Another thing is we have a gray water system back in the bathroom. Actually, most of the house has been hooked up to some kind of gray water system for a while. The simplest one is our bathroom sink has a bucket under it, and you might check under there before you use the sink just to see if the bucket is full. And if it is, the bucket should go into the bathroom for someone to use it to flush the toilet. And we also have a human manure system here on site, but that's how our toilet works. We use gray water from our sinks in order to flush our toilet as much as we can. And if we're out of gray water for doing that, then just use the button on the top of the toilet like you would with any efficient toilet. Let's see. Last thing, I guess, is if you can, carpool with each other. As you get to know each other and where you're all living in the city, if you are coming by car, it might be fun to and more efficient in order to do that together. So I think those are all my announcements.
Great. And if anything comes up.